extreme weather conditions or not, you are today being invited to explore a time-tested perspective that can help you restore your ease. This includes the heaviness, the sluggishness that you may be feeling because your external environment is also heavy. Say you tend towards sitting on the couch when possible. Even though you may have the strength, the endurance to move, to do, your preference, it's not even your preference. You may just simply feel lethargic. You may just not have the drive, the motivation, the inspiration to do anything. If this is the case for you, Ayurveda would call this having the kapha dosha in excess, or it may even be your constitution, your natural blueprint, whichever is the case. You get to consider ways in the external environment to offset this tendency. There's a universal law that teaches us, that reminds us that whatever tendency is there, if inside of us, if the external environment is also manifesting similar tendencies, the two coming together will take you overboard. You will experience imbalance. In the case of the person who likes to enjoy the couch more often than not, and who may be experiencing an extreme winter season. For that person, it becomes extremely important to take the clue of excess heaviness and say, hey, if I continue in my tendency of staying in the couch, there will not just be this lethargy, that I'm not motivated to move and so on, which is real, but there will also be depression. There will also be excess body fat. There will also be edema, swelling. There will be liquid, excess liquid in the joints. There will be mucus, and so on. And so this law, the like qualities increase one another, also gives us the opportunity to recognize that opposite qualities help us restore balance. So then, in such weather, when the tendency is there to just let me just stay in and stay cozy and have my hot cocoa, to say, okay, but first we're going to bundle up and we're going to get outside and we're going to let the wind, that cold wind, invigorate this system enough to get me moving at a faster pace than maybe I feel comfortable with, but that allows my internal heat to rise. And as it rises, what happens then? It melts away that stagnation that causes the mind, the emotions to go into something like depression. And it calls us to move with more frequency, especially because the quality of the climate is leaning you to tend in the direction of something that doesn't serve you. So instead of saying, oh, I feel like knowing, you get to feel like many things that you can do that actually do serve you. But when you are leaning to respond to your tendencies, knowing that these tendencies are accumulating in such a way that they can cause you harm, that you use this opportunity to get out of your comfort zone just enough to then allow the body and the mind to do the rest, to assist you in restoring your sense of balance, of ease. Because when you do, especially if you are the one who tends towards being in the couch and being more passive, you, when balanced, you exude the kind of stability and nourishment that everyone else experiences, everyone around you experiences as a safe haven. You provide unconditional love like no one else. The person who really is not so much into sitting on the couch and just is much more willing to be out there exploring the environment regardless of what it's like, but just for the sake of moving, they don't have this capacity that you have to love so unconditionally, to be such support, provide such stability. The world needs you balanced. So do the small things each day that will restore your ease. As unfamiliar, as uncomfortable as they may feel at first, because like anything else, or in fact, just this very law of nature, the closer we are to our balance, the less our tendencies make us gravitate towards imbalance. So when we get into those routines of doing the things, bringing in the qualities that restore our balance, we naturally begin to gravitate towards them more. We naturally feel that we want more of that in our lives. So please, shake off these layers of excess weight and do the small actions that will help you restore your balance. And then by the time spring arrives and the warmth of your external world is more present, you still have to deal with awareness of how things do, how there's a lot of water that accumulates from the melting of the snow. So still a little bit of a hump time there of being aware of the weight that is still in the world. But then by the time summer arrives, especially fall, you will be thriving. You will be in your season, because everything outside of you is opposite of the natural tendencies in you. And so helping you, supporting you move along with staying balanced. So now is a time for you to be more careful, more cautious, if provided, of course, those are your tendencies. So consider this not as words, but as an exploration for yourself to see indeed how it unfolds for you. From my heart to yours. Namaste.